Hi, I'm Mom, and I want to talk to you about miracles, big and small. This summer, my family has experienced some pretty big miracles, and I feel called to talk to you about it today. So let's start with Miracle Monday. There's a story in the Bible of the Israelites being saved from slavery in Egypt and brought to the land that God promised them. The Israelites were terrified, as I think we would all be, leaving the only home you've ever known, taking nothing with you, and just going. Just bye. They were so terrified, though, that they couldn't even see the miracles in front of them. Water coming out of a rock, food literally falling from the sky. They couldn't see those things because they were so scared. And so they rebelled and they complained every step of the way, and it took them so long to get where God had promised them. Not because God was slow, but because they couldn't see around them anything. They finally get close to this land that God promised them, and they still don't trust that He has what He keeps saying He has. So they send 3 spies into this city, and when they get there, it is amazing. Beautiful, rich in food, amazing landscapes, like everything they could have dreamed of and could have wanted, it was there. God did what He promised. He has this land ready for them. And yet, out of the 3 spies, 2 of them come back with fear-based stories telling them this land is so scary and there's no way they could possibly live there because of these scary things that are there. And God is fed up at this point, which is fair. And He says, if you guys are this terrified and you literally cannot trust me no matter what I do for you, you can't go to this promised land. I'm done. I've given you several chances. You still don't believe me. You still don't trust me. And there's nothing I can do at this point. So you guys are not allowed to enter this promised land. Your next generation can, your sons, your daughters, they can. But you have to wait they have to wait until you die. 40 years. Until this entire generation dies in order for the next generation to go to this promised land. And that is crazy. If you read this story, at least when I read this story in the Bible, I thought it was crazy. I thought these Israelites were crazy and were ridiculous, and how could they not see what God had literally done for them? Like, what are you doing here? But it's because of fear. And my story, my family, is similar to this story. At the beginning of the summer, where we live now isn't going great. There's a lot of stressors. There's a lot of backlash. It's not a great situation anymore. It's a pretty toxic situation in the city that we're living in. Not with my family. My family is amazing. But with the city that we're living in, it is very toxic. And so we started feeling this calling from God to move. And we're looking around the city that we currently live in, and nothing's working. There's nothing that works for my family. There's nothing that works in general. We're getting denied. And eventually, we start hearing about this city that we've never heard of before, in a different state than we live in now, that we never considered moving to. And we just keep getting peppered with, move here, move here, move here, move here. So we start doing our research, because what is this city? Never heard of before. And in our research, we find that it has pretty much everything that we're looking for. It has a community that we're looking for. It has, jobs that we're looking for. It has people that we're looking for. Things like that. It's just what we're needing right now. But like the Israelites, we are still a skeptical bunch. We see all these miracles, God saying, hey, this is a place. It's a great place. But we're still skeptical because we're human. And so we send 3 people, like the Israelites, down to this city that God is calling us to go to, and just to check it out. We don't know we just want, we basically, we don't trust our research. So we go down there to see with our own eyes what the city is like. And just like how it is in the Bible, it is amazing. It is exactly what we were looking for. Everyone there is amazing. It just feels like home. As soon as we enter the city, it feels like home. So much so that when we leave, we are actually grieving the fact that we have to come back to where we currently live. And as we're coming back, it pops in my head just randomly this story from the Bible of the Israelites leaving Egypt and of the 3 spies that were sent to this promised land and the 40 years. And I just look at the other 2 people in the car who went down with me and went, nobody say an ill word about this city. I am not wandering our current city or anywhere in between for 40 years because we are afraid. We are no longer being afraid. We don't do it. Just don't. And I think that's amazing because God's miracles happened thousands of years ago with the Israelites in Egypt and getting them out of there. There were 400 miracles within that story alone. And it's happening right now too with my family. 100 miracles happening every day, small and big and small, and it doesn't matter because they're there. And we just have to learn from the Bible, learn from these people who let fear drive them and the results of that. Because it wasn't God being malicious or whatever, it was literally their fear that made them not able to enter the promised land. It was their fear that drove them out of God's promise. It was their fear that made them rebel and do stupid things throughout this whole story. If you haven't read it, please do. It was their fear, and we have to learn from that. And at least so far, my family is learning from that. And everything has been working out, and God's miracles have been working out for us to move to this amazing city that I truly believe many more miracles are going to happen. God is amazing. If you don't know him, you should meet him. And at least that's my story, and that's my family's story, and those are our miracles. And I would love to hear about your miracles, whether they're a big move to a different state like my story is, or whether it's something small. I'd love to hear from you on this Miracle Monday. Thank you.